Bro, I just froze. I'm so nervous, dude. Welcome to the Minnesota RØKKR pre-show. My name is Ashley, aka MiDNiTE, on board here with IKON. As always, it is finally here, IKON. The day, the tournament, the moment we've been talking about, waiting for all year. We started the season last season. New squad for RØKKR. It felt like forever for the season to actually start. The season starts, we're playing group play, we're playing majors, we're trying to stack these points so that we can get the best possible seed and qualify for champs. Stage 5 happens, RØKKR wins an insane reverse sweep best of 9. I've never seen anything like it in like any sport, including esports. And now we're here. We have the 6th seed for champs. We're playing Dallas Empire today in 28 minutes. I'm so nervous, bro. I'm so sorry. Help calm me down a little bit if it's possible. What are your thoughts just coming into the biggest event of the year for CDL and for this RØKKR and Dallas match in general?
Yeah, just kind of starting where you started. It is kind of crazy. I remember when this game dropped and thinking we still got like multiple months before the CDL season starts. It seems like it was forever away. And now, before you know it, we're literally right here at Champs. It's bizarre to think that we've gone through 5 different majors, weeks and weeks of group play, and here we are. So it's about to get started. I think, as we mentioned a little bit, just kind of talking behind the scenes, that today is super important. So this first match of the day against Dallas Empire, I think it's super important because there are no more easy matches, right? It's not like you can get dropped down into the losers bracket and have a match against one of those bottom 4 squads or whoever to get your run started through the elimination bracket. If you don't come out with the victory today, you've got to win 4 or 5 matches just in losers bracket against teams that are, top of the league in order to get back into the conversation of trying to get into champs. So today is super important. This first match is super important so that you can get into those winners semis. And if we win, we'll be playing Toronto. And what do you know? We played them twice in stage 5 major. That's who we beat to win that stage 5 major. Maybe we'll see them again, but the importance of today's match cannot be understated.
Yeah, it's a monumental day, and I honestly think, it's pretty obvious because with how the tournament is actually formatted, like we could be, not to be like, I'm just being real, like our champs run could end today, even though we're starting the winners bracket, because if we were to win, like you say, we move on to play Toronto, which I believe would be tomorrow, and if we lose, we would play LA Thieves tonight. If we lose that, that's night. That's not good. All right. So there's a lot of pressure riding on today. But one thing that is for certain is the guys play really well under pressure. We saw that down 0-4 in a best of 9 versus Toronto, who's a pretty freaking good team. Like they're one of 3 teams who's won an event this year: Atlanta FaZe, Toronto Ultra, Minnesota RØKKR. Damn, that feels good to say. Bringing chips back home to Minnesota. Where's the dip? Yeah, I'm so nervous because there's so much riding on today. And when you look at, just how the guys have been able to play lately, I think it spells well for us. I'm hoping that they're able to maintain the confidence that they showed during the stage 5 major. But overall, this is a big, nerve-wracking day. So before we kind of get into, the bracket and the match and everything, let's relive a little bit. Let's reminisce. Let's just soak in it a little bit. All right. I would love for us to check out the Major 5 winning moment. This is such a huge monumental moment for us, here at this organization. Obviously, these players, the fashion they did it in. Let's check out the winning moment from stage 5.
2v2. It's coming down to this. Attack. It's all on to Kleenex to keep Ultra in it. 30 seconds on the clock, and Kleenex has bomb. And he clutch up in the 1 versus 2. He sees the wrap out. He's going to work the plant. Now it'll be
he's going to catch him out.
And Priesta, they're going to catch him. He gets away for now. 50
He's got no time.
Just gets out
He's
of
got a plant.
Time is dwindling. There's the angle. Kleenex wins 1. Attack finishes it. It is done. The greatest comeback in the history of Call of Duty esports. It's the...
Yo, Let's freaking go, man. Like, how could you, even if you're not a RØKKR fan, like, how could you not get hype after that, after losing 4 maps straight, then winning 5 in a row, all while the crowd is chanting reverse sweep? Like, just that's what we're here. That's what we're here to highlight. That's what we're here to freaking do, man. It's insane. And I think, like, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I do believe that the crowd in LA for Champs this weekend is, I mean, the attendance is expected to be double of what it was in or Arlington, where that most recent LAN was held. So honestly, it's gonna be lit. I'm nervous. I'm excited, and I don't even know what to say. I'm the worst host today because I'm just a bundle of nerves, but just so giddy and excited and happy. I'd love to kind of take a look at here the Champs bracket and see like what's coming up that's not the RØKKR match, because although it's a massive deal and obviously we play first, so that's top of mind, but let's look at who else or set to play. So after the Dallas Empire Minnesota RØKKR match, we will be seeing Optic Chicago versus NYSL with Clayster back in the lineup. We talked a bit about it on the podcast this week, Icon, so we don't need to go in the whole thing, but I would love to know, you know, just your initial thoughts on that, you know, round 1 matchup.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's question marks on both sides when it comes to Optic and NYSL, just because Clay is back in the lineup. So obviously that takes Diamond Con out, and any sort of chemistry or consistency that they might have developed throughout stage 5 when Clay was gone, that's now going to be jumbled a little bit. So Clay will be back in. The other side of that is that obviously it's Clay. He's been to these things a million times. Like, this is what he does best, right? He shows up, he performs at Champs, did it back-to-back with United in Dallas last year. So obviously if you have somebody like that in your organization, you want them performing when it comes time for Champs. But there is still a couple question marks there when it comes to NYSL. How will they perform? Then, of course, with Optic, we know everything that went down with Envoy and Scump and having COVID. So, yes, they were probably still scrimming as they always would, but they wouldn't have been like together, scrimming together in the same place. So, who knows if that affected their scrims at all. But for me, I think that Optic played pretty well, I guess decently well at the Stage 5 Major. And coming into this, I think that, in my opinion, they're one of 5 teams that I'm really looking at that have a chance to win here. So I expect Optic to get this victory against NYSL. And if they do win, they move on to play Atlanta, and that would be crazy because the last time that we saw Atlanta, obviously we were able to beat them in that last major, and then they got knocked out. They went 0-2. They got knocked out by the Seattle Surge. So a little bit inconsistent what's going to be happening with Atlanta too. So if Optic wins this one, that could set up a really big matchup between Atlanta and Optic.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at how the bracket could unfold here, it's no team in this tournament is designed this way. No team in this tournament is a pushover. I genuinely believe that any one of these teams could beat another on any given day. It all changes when you get to LAN, and it all changes when you get to Champs. I mean, we've seen teams kind of catch momentum, i.e. RØKKR, obviously last LAN event, but it's all about like who's going to show up on the day, and that's what makes today such a big deal, in my opinion. It's nerve-wracking to say the least. So we actually already did our predictions for this on the podcast this last week. We just posted it out onto our Twitter. Just to recap it, though, I do have RØKKR winning 3-1, knock on wood, no jinx. And then I think I picked Optic to win 3-2, but I would not be surprised if NYSL came in and won. If like Kingdom said, Clay shows up with the ponytail vibes, you never know. So I what did you predict again for these two?
Yeah, we have the same thing here. We have RØKKR and we have Optic in both these matchups, but that Optic one is the one that I'm definitely not quite as confident in when it comes to who wins that one.
Right, and are your map counts different than mine? Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head what the map counts were.
I think
it was 3-1.
I think at least one of them may have been different. Let's take a look at the prediction points. I mean, not to like flex or anything. Feel bad about it kind of at this point, but I had the most incredible stage 5, came back, I was down bad, and I am ahead by a lot in our rotation prediction points, but it is not over. Champs weekend, higher stakes. We're actually counting double points for correct predictions. Is it all points, right? If it's a correct prediction, correct map, upset. Are there any
Yep.
upsets at Champs? I guess, yeah. There's for sure upsets at Champs. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
it must
guess.
just, yeah, all points is double. So you have a chance. Still, probably not. But
Thanks
still,
for giving
no,
me that.
knock on wood. Yeah, hey man, we got to make it interesting. It's freaking Champs. Speaking of interesting, I would love to just highlight one more thing to live in the past. I swear, and then we're gonna look at some interviews from the coaches and just talk more about the lead match here versus Empire. But we were able to get comms from the players' winning moment at Stage 5 Majors. I think it's great to just watch this again for me, just to get kind of hype and get in the game day mode, obviously, but also just to show like how these guys communicate with each other, either while they're playing and calling out or in between maps, to keep each other, engaged and, on the same page. The chemistry, like it's just unreal comms, and I would love to kind of take a peek at that. So let's throw it to the comms video.
We're in a deep hole, bro. We're in a deep hole.
We're gonna have to dig out.
I mean, we can literally make history right here and cause the first ever best of 9 reverse sweep.
You are way better than them. Play as a unit, play together, play smart, take your fights and on them. We have no excuse now. We're warmed up. I don't give a if they won 4 straight. We can do it too.
That's true.
We are a better S&D team than them. When our team works on point, we are a better team than them.
Even doing this for ourselves at this point, let's do this as a you to all these fans that walked out and are missing the greatest comeback in Call of Duty history.
Yeah.
You're
right.
Come on, right here. Let's get on the board.
First
First ever best of 9 reverse sweep.
Wise man once said,
Never chalk.
never chalk.
It's never
What
chalk,
we got
baby.
next? I've done best of 5s. I've done best of 7s.
Every map they get more and more nervous too, bro.
TCT. Trust communication.
That's it. Trust communication. Teamwork.
Every
like
map we
like we
take.
said earlier, we have nothing to lose, so let's go.
We got this for sure.
Let's go.
One round at a time, one map at a
All
time.
right, let's go. Game
Pressure's on them,
Let's go,
baby.
boys. Yeah, pressure on them.
Pressure's on them.
Let's go.
Yeah, we have him trapped. We have him trapped. Preston, he could go our side.
Got me dead.
Nice.
Let's go.
Go,
They're
boys.
nervous, bro.
Let's
APOC.
Let's go, bro.
APOC.
Made it this far. You did the for yourselves. You did for the org, but you did the for one another. You guys put in work day in and day out. You show up. You fry. You all work out together. You do everything you got to do as one. Just close the out. They're shaking. We win this respawn. We win the next S&D. We walk out of here setting, making history.
Lay it all out there.
Happens. I love you guys. Let's do
Let's
this.
get it, dude. Let's get it, bro.
Love you.
We already
Seriously,
exceeded more expectations than before.
Yep.
2 more maps. That's all.
Yep.
This is fun as
More, baby.
The phrase, my famous phrase, it's never chalked 2 maps straight, bro.
Yup.
That's it. That's all it is.
2 maps.
Yep.
That's
Nothing
20
else
minutes.
matters,
That's
bro.
20 minutes.
That's 20
2
minutes,
maps.
bro.
Yeah,
We
challenge.
challenge.
We're running
Fucking
for this
challenge.
view.
That's
Bro,
really
we got
shitty,
here
so.
because we believe in each other, man.
Yo, I'm hungry, man. So let's get this going, man. Let's get it. Let's make it quick.
Big dog season.
Big
yo.
dog
Big dog season, baby.
Now,
Come on.
challenge.
Come on.
What the f*** is, yo. This is all us right now.
Good next. You got off. He's a tiki. You have the cross. You have the cross.
I'm
Hold
on my
this.
way mid steps. Keep him off B. Keep him off
He
B.
can't play it. He can't play it. He's
Okay.
trapped.
I can check it.
He literally can't play it.
Okay, I'll check.
He can't play
Actually, he can.
Yo, that's so hype, bro. We just definitely watched the witty moment twice in this pre-show. We're just like, definitely in 10 years, I'm gonna sound like one of those people that peaked in high school and be like, do you remember when RØKKR reverse swept in a best of 9 grand finals versus Toronto? It's that crazy of a moment. And honestly, seeing the leadership from Attach, from Major Maniac, not gonna lie, the first time I heard Attach say, no matter what happens, like, I love you guys, or whatever he said, like, I got a little teary-eyed. That's so nice. That's what you want to hear out of your teammates, out of, your leader. He's a veteran on this team. I think it's so important to see that. So anyway, but let's move forward. Now, let's look forward. Obviously, very hype. You got to bring the hype into the game days. But looking ahead now at our first matchup versus Empire. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but I would just love to know from your perspective, what's one thing, just the one key factor, the fries factor, if you will, that RØKKR needs in order to defeat Dallas here in this first round match?
Yeah, for me, I think when it comes to Dallas, I think you have to come out and you have to win map 1 just because there's such a good team at S&D. A lot of what they've been doing as of late, like when they got knocked out of that stage 5 major, they still, even though map 3, map 4 against Optic were really ugly, they still came out and they still won that S&D. So if you can come out, get that map 1 hard point victory, go up 1-0, even if you lose the S&D, we've been playing so well on Garrison and both raid control that map 3, whatever map it's going to be, it should favor us. So come out, win map 1. The last thing you want to do is lose the first hard point, lose the map 2 S&D, and then fall into an O2 hole and have to reverse sweep again. So for me, it's coming out, getting that hard point victory so that there's not quite as much emphasis and importance on that map 2 S&D. If you win the S&D and go up 2-0, I mean, obviously that's great. That's like best case scenario. But to have it 1-1, go into that control where we have 2 maps where we're really strong on, we can go up 2-1, and then who knows, maybe even if we were to lose map 4, it goes to map 5, we play Miami S&D or something like that. So for me, it's just coming out hot, feeding off of what we're able to do at the end of the Stage 5 Major, feeding off the live crowd that'll be there just like they were when we made that run at the Stage 5 Major, and then just flowing with that all the way throughout this first matchup.
Yeah, I just, it's all about keeping the momentum to me. I'm hoping that we're able to just stay on the track we're on, pick up right where we left off if possible. It's really hard though. I mean, we talked a little bit about it on the rotation, so we don't have to go too far into it, but it is hard to win 2 events in a row. And, you know, we hear from Enable, we also heard from Attach, who was on RØKKR Talker this week, saying that scrims have not been going well since the Stage 5 dub. I don't know how much like stock that puts into, oh, it's going to be bad or it's going to be good, because I swear like every team out there says, yeah, scrims are going really great. Like last year, the RØKKR squad last year, well, we were getting annihilated the second half of the season. Every tournament interview was, yeah, scrims have been going great. We feel really good. So, I mean, maybe I'm just trying to find a silver lining here, but if scrims are not going well right now, that means that there's a lot more, introversion looking within, trying to figure out, where are we going wrong a little bit? What can we improve on? Because you have a huge target on your back when you win, and especially in the fashion that you did. All your VOD is out there. Your S&D strats are on record. So yeah, it's, what we can do from here, knowing that. What I wouldn't want to see them do is just, oh, we won and scrims have been going okay, and they just kind of coast into champs thinking they're going to play the same, but they have to put a lot of effort into doing this. So let's hear from Brian Saint though. So I actually haven't seen this yet, so I'll be excited to kind of check this out. We just uploaded this. We got a quick interview from head coach Brian Saint from Minnesota RØKKR. So I'd love to just know kind of his thoughts on this matchup versus Dallas Empire. Let's check it out.
Day 1 of CDL Champs, and we're going up against the Dallas Empire. They're an incredibly good team. We had a super close series against them at the Stage 5 Major, and I think every time we play them this year, it's been extremely close. The series is really going to come down to the S&Ds. They're a very good hardpoint team, so we just got to go out there and play the S&Ds how we're playing them in Stage 5, and I think we'll be good. My message to the team here is really just to remember our form from Major 5 and just go out our playing game. This tournament's no different than Major 5, and we just got to live in the moment and not overthink it too much. Just got to really go out there and play as one. Simple as that.
Hey, let's go. What are your thoughts there, Icon? You said we just got to play it, do our thing, play as one. I thought it was pretty, candid there. So I'd love to know, like, your thoughts on what Saint had to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of it also ties into how Stage 5 ended. And even if scrims weren't going super well, it is what it is. It's online COD. We've seen it happen throughout the entirety of the year. But going to this matchup with Dallas, you just have to continue to play the way that you played throughout Stage 5 Major. They showed that you're beating Toronto multiple times. You're beating Dallas. You're beating the top teams in the game. So as long as you have confidence and you come out and you play your game, that's what we've heard. I think I've heard it more this year than any other year in the past. Like when Optic came out and got that victory over Atlanta, they made a huge point about you just have to come out and just play your game. If you try to play fast, if you try to beat a BZ to spots in S&D, it's not going to happen. And he's going to win those first bloods and he's going to put you down in the 3-4 hole. So for me, it's just coming out, just playing your game. Don't let other squads dictate what you're trying to do around the map. And as long as their confidence is high, I don't put too much stock into what has happened recently with scrims. I think just come out, play your game, win your map picks, and then take care of business in the match overall.
Yeah, scrims don't matter as much as long as you're learning from them, and then when you show up on the day, that's what it's all about. That's why I'm so nervous for today. There's a lot this day. I mean, it feels obvious to say, so excuse me, but this day is everything for our run in this tournament. This first match, there's a lot riding on it, and you know Dallas is going to come to play. They came in on a private jet or whatever. So that's kind of cool for them. They won last year. They won champs last year, and you know we mentioned that they're such a good team. You know, who's fundamentally sound. They learn from their mistakes. They're hard to beat twice in a row, but I do believe is either 3-2 or 3-3 versus them on the year. So it's always a banger match. It's always going to be buck wild. Speaking of buck wild, if you guys want to get buck wild at a watch party in Minnesota, you should, baby. Listen, we're going to be having if you guys know, I mean, hopefully you know, there's footage of it in Saga. They put us on the CDL broadcast sometimes, but we do have watch parties here locally in Minnesota. Today and tomorrow, we will have watch parties at O'Donovan's in Minneapolis. It's right across from First Avenue there. It's going to be fun. Hopefully people show out. I know it's early in the afternoon, but hey, it's turn up time. It's champs time. And then obviously the schedule for when we play is obviously dependent on our performance, but knock on wood, let's hope we're playing into Saturday and hopefully Sunday. Oh my gosh. If we're playing on Saturday or Sunday, we will have 2 watch party spots. So O'Donovan's is an all ages place. So today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can go to O'Donovan's if you're an all ages type of guy or gal. But if you want to partake, in a 21 plus venue, Up Down is the spot. Up Down will be showing our matches on Saturday and Sunday. Whoo! I'm nervous, man. I wish I could go to a watch party, bro. That would be so fun. But yeah, guys, that's the deal in the watch parties this weekend. Definitely keep an eye on our socials. We'll be keeping you guys updated. We have giveaways, just fun stuff. It's going to be a good time. But let's lock in here now. I'd love to know the maps. It turns out we actually had assistant coach / lead analyst / director of esports strategy. This guy's got like 3 jobs. It makes me feel lazy. But let's hear from Jake. He actually discusses the actual map picks for this match, so we can discuss that.
Hey everyone, today we are playing Dallas Empire in winners round 1 of the Call of Duty World Championships. Our maps from start to finish are Moscow Hardpoint, Raid Search and Destroy, Raid Control, Checkmate Hardpoint, and Moscow S&D if it goes game 5. For the hardpoint vetoes, you saw us vetoing Garrison Hardpoint and them vetoing Raid Hardpoint. For Search and Destroy, they vetoed Moscow and we vetoed Express. And for Control, they vetoed Garrison, we vetoed Checkmate, leaving it Raid by default. So these are some of the maps we expected to get. We honestly weren't sure if we'd get Checkmate Hardpoint in this rotation, so we're looking forward to playing it if it goes through game 4 and just excited to be in champs.
Look at that wholesome little interview from Jake, aka Repit. Yo, Twitter, if you're watching, verify that man. Look at him. He's doing interviews. He's important. Let's verify that guy. But no, I mean, what are your kind of first impressions from the maps? We got Moscow Hardpoint, Raid SD, Raid Control, Checkmate Hardpoint, Moscow Search. For those first 2 maps, I think those are the most critical of this series. What are your thoughts there on how we might match up versus Dallas?
Yeah, so Moscow Hardpoint, again, we've talked about how important that first map is. On the year, we're 2-7 on Moscow Hardpoint, so not one of our best maps, but still, that's probably obviously their pick. So if you can come out and win that map 1, a hardpoint that's their selection, that would be absolutely massive too when it comes to the success of this series. Map 2, Raid S&D. We're fans of Raid basically on anything, right? So that Raid S&D, that Raid Control, great. We're pretty comfortable with both of those. Checkmate Hardpoint had been an auto veto for, it seemed like, multiple stages in a row. And now all of a sudden we're beating everybody on Checkmate Hardpoint. So if we're in like a 2-1 advantage situation going into map 4, you have to feel super confident when it comes down to map 4, Checkmate Hardpoint, and then Moscow S&D, which is last. I mean, we're 5-5. We've taken it in some critical series, such as the win in map 5 round 11 against Optic earlier in the year, and there have been some times where we haven't played great on Moscow. So for me, overall, I think map 1, not one of our strong suits, but they have not been coming out and playing map 1 hard points very well. Got to feel comfortable on maps 2, 3, and 4, and if it goes to map 5, then it's time to clutch up in S&D.
I hope so. I'm pulling up the maps here again so I don't forget. I think, like, I don't know, man. Hardpoint checkmate, it feels like we've been a lot better on it recently, but it's still, you know,
making nervous.
It still makes me nervous because it's Dallas, right? At any moment, Shotzi, Ailey, the whole gang really can go off. But I mean, hey, you could say the same thing about us. I think the Moscow hardpoint makes me pretty nervous. That's a map we've had quite a bit of trouble on, and when we have won it, we've been barely eking it out, which doesn't feel very good. But hey, that raid, search and destroy, shoot, that's my second favorite map and game mode combo of all time in Call of Duty history ever. And raid hardpoint's my number 1. I love raid. Give a shout out to raid.
Same.
That raid SD. I mean, that's the map we won the chip on, right? So it's likely our pick. I'm hoping. Based on the map picks here, like, I'm hoping that my prediction can come true. A 3-1 victory, I think, seems very possible. But I mean, it's all about who shows up on the day. You can never count Empire or especially Crim6 out when it is champs. That guy. Crimbot is insane. He turns up at champs every single time. Deep breath. IKON. What are your final parting thoughts here before we throw it? We're going to obviously encourage you guys to go watch the CDL broadcast. That starts, I think, in like 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, just final thoughts going into this tournament. We talked a lot about the RØKKR and Empire match, so we could talk more broadly now if you'd like. But just, yeah, what are your final thoughts kind of going into the first day here?
Yeah, I think ultimately, if you're looking at the main goal of winning a champs title, this first match is super important, but don't kind of overemphasize it in a way, because what we had been working through basically throughout the entirety of stage 5 was just making sure that we maintained that 6th seed so that we're in a position today where if we come out, we don't play well, something goes wrong, we're not eliminated, right? It's not a one and done. So if we lose today, we drop down, we play LA Thieves, and we get a second chance. But either way, I think that the team just has to remain confident, just come in and just display the same confidence that they had during that stage 5 major, the last time they were on land, the last time they were in front of a crowd. So just continue to keep up the confidence, play the exact same way. And then if everything takes care of business today, you're just one step closer, playing against the Toronto Ultra, win another match. And I mean, you're basically right there. So overall, play well, play with confidence, and let the rest take care of itself.
Yeah, come in and play with confidence. I really like what you said there about like just one step at a time, and that's how we did our reverse sweep best and I come back. I'm gonna bring it up every single time I get in my entire life. Reverse sweep best of 9, or best of 9 reverse sweep, I guess you say. Like that just shows you that when this team is down, they are never out. If they can just take it one moment at a time, one gunfight at a time, one rotation at a time, take this thing slow. Play your game, do your thing. It's champs, baby. One step at a time. We got this, man. I'm sending all the good vibes. You know the copy pasta where it's like, take my energy? That's me, literally right now. Take my energy, RØKKR. You need it. You guys got this. Woo! Deep breath. All right, guys. We're gonna drop off here. The CDL broadcast is about to go live, so you guys should obviously go watch that. I'm gonna go toss it up on the TV. Unfortunately, I do have to watch from home here for champs, but hey, if you live in Minnesota, come out to a watch party for any one of our matches this weekend. We're at O'Donovan's in Minneapolis, and also Up Down in Minneapolis. Up Down is 21 plus. O'Donovan's is all ages. All right, guys. Good vibes in the chat.